know what hopes and dreams you have from all the stuff we've bought. So today's session is practical strategies to driving e-commerce success. Just so I can get a sense for who's here. Who runs an e-commerce business or has an e-commerce store now? Okay, cool. Keep your hand up if you've been running it for over a year, over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 4 years, 6 years, 7 years. Okay, 8 years. What do we got? Give me a number.
I think about 2007.
Oh wow, okay, cool. Do you want to come up? You can come up and do the talk if you want. Awesome, good to find out who's in the room. All right, so today team, what I wanted to let you know about what this presentation is not going to be. So I'm going to set up some expectations for you. The first thing it's not going to be lots of useless information. It's not going to be complex tech talk. I might be a tech guy at heart, but I'm going to try and not be too technical today. It's not going to be strategies that are out of reach. Sometimes when you come to events like this, you hear big brands come and talk about strategies and you're like, well, there's no way I can do that. Or I don't have the budget for that. Or I don't have the skill for that. So if you stick around, I'm going to promise you something. I'm going to promise you that you're going to get a roadmap on how to grow and run your online business. So for those of you who've been running it for a little while, you've probably got a bit of a gauge on how to do it. But today I want to give you a roadmap, a clear roadmap on how to scale and the things you need to do. For some of you, it might be bringing you back to basics. For others, it might be giving you foundations on what you can do. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a clear understanding of what it takes to grow an e-commerce business to the levels that you want, okay? And then finally, I'm going to teach you what to do and what not to do on e-commerce from all the learnings that I have. Right? Because there's lots of shiny objects out there, there's lots of things we can do. Sometimes it's a waste of time, sometimes it's good. Yeah, good. Excellent. So why listen to me? So I've been ranked top 50 in e-commerce 3 times now in Australia. I launched a brand and I turned over $1 million in 18 months when I launched that brand. I'm now the CEO of 2 e-commerce brands. I've helped over 150 different e-commerce stores, from startups to multi-million-dollar brands, grow and implement some frameworks that we do. I've worked in the industry for around 15 years and I've worked with some big brands like Superdry Clothing, 2XU, Petstock, Pacific Brands, who are now Wesfarmers. And I also now run a YouTube channel called the E-commerce Academy. So this is the point of the presentation where I ask you to like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you like this presentation. But YouTube's been a lot of fun. So if you want to learn about e-com, jump on there. Yeah, awesome. All right, so I tried to take sense of why people are going to be sitting here listening to me. Why are you at the Reed Gift Fair? Why have you taken the time out of your day to listen to this guy chat? Well, I think the first reason would be that you've probably got a great product or a great store, but you might be struggling to get direct sales. We've got a lot of wholesale businesses here that want to do retail. We've got a lot of retail businesses that might want to do wholesale. But right now, I've got a feeling you might be struggling to get direct sales, especially with the economy the way it is right now. You might have been relying on your wholesale business, but it's starting to slow down a little bit, because if direct is slowing down and they need to buy stock from you, that's probably going to be slowing down as well. The other reason you might be here is you've probably got an online store. You've been told to turn on your store, but you've got no idea on how to grow it. Or you've tried to grow it and you haven't got the results that you want. You've got the store up and running, you build it and you think they should come and they don't always come. You might just want to know what other people are doing. Maybe you're just nosy. Maybe you just want to look over someone's shoulders and go, hey, how are you doing something? How are you doing something? And sometimes you learn a lot from hearing what other people are doing. Or you're just ready to try something different. I think we all know the definition of insanity. We do the same thing over and over and over again and try and think of different results. It doesn't work that way. We do sometimes need to try something different, but we want to try things that have been tried and tested before and hear from experts in their field. If that's you, you are definitely in the right place, okay? Right, well, let's get cracking. There's 3 levers when it comes to e-commerce that you need to think about. These are the only 3 levers that you need to pull in your business to make it grow. The first lever is traffic. Has everyone heard the term traffic? Put your hand up. So traffic is like store traffic, people getting through the front doors. It's getting people to your website. We need people to come to our website for them to buy from us. A really simple thing, but often overlooked. If we get traffic, we then need to multiply that traffic by our conversion rate. Our conversion rate is the amount of people that shop with us that have visited with us. So let's just say 100 people visit our site, 1 person buys, we have a 1% conversion rate. 100 people visit our site, 5 people buy, we have a 5% conversion rate, okay? So conversion rate is super important. These are the metrics you need to measure. Then if we multiply that by, of those people that buy from us, how much they spend, average order value. So this is the only metric you need to know. There's nothing else in your e-commerce business you need to look at every single day apart from traffic, conversion rate, and average order value. And if we get that sum right, that's where the money comes in. Okay, that's all it is. E-commerce is a game of maths, and that's what I really love about it. All we need to do is make the numbers change. It's that easy. So our goal today, and what we're going to get out of today's talk, is how are we going to make these numbers go up? Because if we make our traffic go up and everything else remains the same, our sales go up. If we have our conversion rate go up and everything else remains the same, our sales go up. If our average order value goes up, everything else remains the same, sales go up. But imagine they all went up at the same time. Then our sales really go up. So that's basically the framework that I've used in all my e-commerce businesses. How do I pull any one of these levers at any one time? Or how do I pull all the levers to make sure that our business is growing? So in order to do that, our customer goes on a journey, and I call it the e-commerce journey, we call it the customer journey, we can call it whatever we like. But basically it's a journey from when someone first finds you to when they make the purchase. And I'm going to take you through that today because each part of those journey impacts the numbers we just talked about. So the first part of this journey, there's 4 stages to it, is the attract stage. So we attract people to get traffic into our store. Okay, so we put our hand up and say, hey, over here, I sell the thing you want, come and visit me. So that's the first stage of the journey, is we're attracting our ideal customer, our ideal avatar, and our ideal customer in the future. The second thing we then need to do, we talked about conversion rate, we then need to work out how do we take that customer from who they are to when they find us into a sale. How do we convert them? If we do that well, then we need to actually get them the order. How do we take them from when we take the order to actually get it out to them? At the end of the day, e-commerce is just a logistics business. That's all we are. We take someone's order, we send it out to them. That's all we are, a logistics business. It's just a bit fancier. It's just a bit more pizzazz to it, you should say. And then if we get that right, we can now finally scale. The challenge that a lot of people face is they go from attract to scale and don't think about all the things in between. And we need to have all the things in between to be able to scale our business properly. All right? So let's get started on something. Let's talk about the attract phase. How do we get people to our business? When I think about driving people into e-commerce stores, there's sort of 3 areas that I think about. Because we want to make sure that we're not focusing our attention on getting our traffic from one place, we want to split it out into 3. It's a bit like hedging our bets. So there's 3 ways. The first way is we pay to get customers. Okay, who runs ads for their business right now? Okay, a few of you, good. So that's paying for customers. That's saying, hey, I'm willing to give usually Mark Zuckerberg some money, Google some money, and say, hey, for the money, I'm going to rent your customers, send them to my store. It's the first way to get customers. The second way to get customers is we earn the customers. And we earn them by having a great product, by getting a great reputation, by having other people write about us, by getting awards. Other people saying, hey, I think this product's awesome, you should go check it out. That's how we earn the reputation of people. We don't need to pay for that, we earn it by having a great product. And the final way is we actually own our customer. And this is where we capture customer data and we have a direct relationship with our customers. It's where we can email them, we can call them up, we can talk to them in person, we can send them SMS. We have this direct relationship. We don't have to rely on anyone else to get our brand and products in front of that customer, okay? So when I think about this, if we want to get customers now, we have to pay for them, okay? It's the quickest way to get a customer to your store. If we want to get customers for a long time, we need to own them. We need to maintain them, and we need to make sure they're staying in our world and they're buying from us multiple times again. And if we want to get customers for free, but it takes a little bit longer, then that's where we earn the customers, okay? Is this all making sense to everyone? Love it. So how do we break our customers up into these 3 areas? Actually, I'll go back for 1 sec. I'll just go back. The reason we break up into these 3 areas is really important. A lot of businesses just focus on the paid side of things. And if they focus on the paid side of things solely, and that goes away for whatever reason, Facebook decides it doesn't like your account and shuts you down for no reason, it takes you 6 weeks to get it back. I'll tell you a little story. I have a customer or a client, and they sell Manchester, they sell betting. And he had like a huge business, but all his business was coming from Facebook ads. 80% of his traffic was Facebook ads. One day, boop, they stopped. He had probably doing $250,000 a month. He instantly went from $250,000 a month to $25,000 a month because his Facebook ads stopped. And the reason they stopped was there was a glitch in the algorithm that just said you were running ads incorrectly or something. Took him 6 weeks to get that back. Lost him a lot of money. If he had have had some of the other channels to hold him up, it would have helped him out. So over the next 6 to 12 months with him, we worked on not being so reliant on that paid channel, owning our customers and earning our customers. So sitting in one channel is great to get started, but there's a huge risk about having all your eggs in that one basket. Let's think about the 3 types of traffic that we want to get. It's all foundational. There is thousands of ways to get traffic. You've got Facebook ads, you've got TikTok, you've got Pinterest, you've got directory listings, you've got events like this. But really, what I've learned over the last 15 years, there's really only a couple of things that just work time and time again and work consistently, and they're the things I want you to implement after today's little workshop. The first one is when we pay for customers, these are the 2 strategies I want you to try. The first one is I want you to run meta ads. Okay, as much as we don't like paying Mark money for ads, it is in their best interest to make you money, right? And this is what a lot of people don't realize is Facebook want you to make money. Why? Because then you spend more money with them. So they're not there just to take your money and let you leave. They actually want you to get results. They want you to get sales so that you spend more and more and more. I always say to the members of our academy that I want you to be spending $20,000 a day on ads, if it makes sense and it's profitable, right? So we start small. As it makes sense, we spend more and more and more. There's 2 types of ads I want you to run. This is anyone can run these. You don't need an agency to do this. The first ad is an Advantage Plus ad. Okay? Really simple, really straightforward. If you YouTube it, there will be a way to set it up. Probably my video will show you how to do it. All right? Set up your Advantage Plus ads. The second type of ad that you should run is what we call a catalog ad. And what that basically does is it shows your products in front of people. Really straightforward and simple. So if you have a great product, people are going to click it and people are going to buy. We find those 2 ads for e-commerce work exceptionally well. And you can do that yourself, really straightforward. The second type of advertising you have to be doing, and I'll tell you why in a second, is Google Ads. Who's doing Google Ads here? 1, 2, okay. I'll talk you why Google Ads is more important than you actually think. 2 types of Google Ads you should be running. Performance Max campaign. Performance Max is built by the AI, and basically what you do is you load your products into it, upload some content, put some images in there, and it goes and makes the ads for you. The cool thing about Performance Max is it does ads in search engines, it does ads in Gmail, it does ads on YouTube, it does ads in shopping feeds. And all you need to do is create this one ad type and it does it for you. Don't need an agency. It will change your business. And the second one is search. That is just a search-based ad where you bid on keywords that people might search for your product. Okay, so you want to put keywords in there of people that have intent to buy. Okay, so if you're selling candles, you're not going to want to bid on keywords how to make candles because they don't have an intent to buy. You want to have something like lemongrass scented candle. And that's what they would bid on because that's what they're looking for. Now the reason we want to run both types of ads is they both have 2 different purposes. Meta ads is what we call demand generation. And that generates the demand for your product. It's usually shown to people who aren't necessarily in market for your product but might be interested. Okay, so where people are on their social feeds and then you throw an ad in front of them, you want to actually spark their interest, but they may not be ready to buy. So we're actually creating brand awareness is probably another way to say it. So we need to have that because Google Ads is what we call demand capture. And that is where we capture someone's demand. So think about when you go to Google. Google is a search, which means you're searching for something. So if I'm searching for a lemongrass scented candle, I'll type it in there and the result pops up and I'm more likely to buy it because I'm looking for it. So that's demand capture. Now where the magic happens is if we have a great amount of demand generation and demand capture, they come together and we have this beautiful relationship of sales coming in the door and we pay for them and they're profitable, all right? What we do find with some of our members is if they just run one, that they're really down the funnel or they're really up the funnel and none of them really work well. But if we run them both together, it creates this beautiful holistic sort of relationship of paid ads. So they're the only 2 ads you need to run. So do that first, get your customers now, start to learn what works and what doesn't work. The second thing we're going to do now is that we are going to earn our customers. This is where we get people to send us traffic. A couple of ways we're going to do this. The first one is with SEO. Now, who does SEO in their store? Keep your hand up if you really don't really know what SEO is or you hate SEO. Okay, that's good. I hate SEO. A few people put their hand up, which is probably why you're not doing it. Look, SEO is a confusing thing. It's this black hat term and it definitely causes a lot of conversation, even though it doesn't give you the greatest output, right? It's one of those things where I have to do SEO, and sometimes SEO is one of those ones where we spend all this effort on it, but we don't actually get the returns. But it is an important piece of the puzzle. A couple of ways I want you to do SEO. SEO is just content at the end of the day. All we're doing is we're putting content up on our site so that when Google finds our site, it reads it and says this site is relevant to the thing that someone's searching for. That's all it is. Google rewards you if you have good content and if the experience of your site is great. So if someone lands on your site and it's just all text and they don't know what it's about and they leave, that's bad. But if they go to your site and it does no text and just has product images, that's also bad. So we want to bring the 2 together. So the ways you're going to do that is on your collection pages or your category pages, whatever you want to call them, we do need to have a little snippet of information at the top there. Okay, just 1 or 2 paragraphs of what it is that you sell and something about it. We need to make sure that on that page we're linking to other pages, which are internal links. We need to submit a sitemap. Again, you can YouTube how to submit a sitemap. That will show you how to do it. Super quick, super easy. What a sitemap does is it tells Google every time you update your website. If you don't have a sitemap submitted, you're not going to rank in SEO very well. You need to make sure your images are well optimized. A little game-changing trick for this is when you upload your images into Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce, whatever you're using, name the images on what you want them to be found for. Okay, so if you have an image of, like, I'll use a lemongrass candle again. If you have an image of a lemongrass candle, don't upload it as DSC1234. Upload it as lemongrass-scented-candle.jpg and upload it. By doing that, it means not only will you rank in search engines, but your images will rank in search engines. So when someone does an image search, your images are going to come up. And then the final thing is be regular on your blogs. Okay, and I'll talk to you a little bit about a blog strategy in a minute. But be putting up blogs at least once a month. And the blogs need to be around the keywords you want to rank for. Okay, and they need to be of some sort of intent, and also have a product within the blog where you can. All right. And the final piece of the puzzle is referrals. This is getting other people to send traffic to you. So this is things like PR. Great way to get PR is enter awards. They're a great way to get PR. Get people to write guest blogs for people. Say, hey, I love your site. I'll write a blog about you and insert my products in there. Get people to review your products for you. And get some influencers to send you traffic. So use other people's audiences is the whole concept of referrals. So now about when we go to own our customer, this is where we build this direct relationship with our customers. 2 strategies here that we're going to implement. First one is email marketing. Looks like there's a lot going on here, but it's actually quite simple. Who does email marketing here? All right, I'm going to get you to hold your hand up. Hold your hand up if you send an email once a month. At least once a month. Okay, at least twice a month. At least 4 times a month. 6 times a month. There we go, good. All right, cool, excellent. 8 times a month, you were the most, so it's great. Perfect, 3 times a week. That's exactly what we need to do. So I want you to get to a stage where you're sending emails at least 3 times a week. We do it on all our stores now. And I tell you what, people don't mind if you're sending them good stuff. All right, so we use a strategy which is called the give, ask strategy. And that means we do 3 emails that are useful to the person, and then we ask them to buy something from us. Great one to throw into this one is your blog, your monthly blog. That's a give. That's a give email. Give them education, give them reviews about your products, give them how-to, give them behind the scenes. Lots of give information, because if you're giving them something, they're not going to unsubscribe. If you're selling them too much, they're going to unsubscribe, okay? So weekly campaigns, if you're not doing them weekly yet, move towards weekly. I don't recommend going from 0 to 3 times a week, that's bad also. Ease them into it, all right? Don't just smash them with emails straight away. Then we've got to do some automations. Automations are really, really important because they make money while you sleep and they send emails without you thinking about it. 4 key automations that I recommend. Welcome series. Someone joins your list, you give them something like a subscription, a discount or free shipping or a gift. Send them a welcome series. But the welcome series it's usually a series of 4 to 5 emails. One is, here's the thing you asked for, such as your discount. The second one is, why you're in our world, who I am. The third one is, why we're great, reviews and social proof. And the 4th one is, these are our best sellers. So at least 4 emails in your welcome series. Abandoned cart is pretty straightforward. When someone puts something in their cart and they check out and they don't finish the checkout, we send them an email reminding them it's there. The goal here though is don't give them a discount straight away. Most people that abandon don't abandon because you're too expensive. They abandon because their kids have jumped on their lap while they're trying to put their credit card in. They can't find their credit card. They were just browsing. They were checking your shipping. So don't always assume they're not buying because they don't want your thing. They're probably not buying because they got distracted, and the stats have shown us that. Thank you emails are a great one. So when someone purchases from you, thank them. Just send them an email. We send an email out with one of our brands and it comes from me. On the second day of their purchase, it'll be, hey Jenny, thank you so much for purchasing from us this week. I'm the CEO here at this brand and I just want to say thanks because it's people like you that make our business great. Don't ask them for anything, just say thanks. That's it. And you'd be surprised how many people respond to that. The difference with that email is it comes from me, it's text-based, and it doesn't have any branding or anything on it. It feels like I've gone out of my way to send them an email. And the amount of people reply is uncanny. And the final one is win back. So let's just say you haven't heard from a customer for a little while. What are we going to do to get them back in our world? How do we get them in our world? And we can use tools like Klaviyo and things like that to do this, but let's just say you haven't heard them for 12 months. Let's send them a little email to spark their interest again. Doesn't need to be a discount. It can be, hey, have you seen our new stuff? This is what we're up to. Here are our reviews, reasons to try and spark their interest. And the last part of owning your traffic is your content strategy. This is typically your social media strategy with short form content and fixed static content. But we recommend sort of 3 types of content that you should be posting as regularly as possible. Try and do a short form video every day. Now this doesn't need to be highly produced and beautiful like that. It can just be recording you packing an order. It could be receiving stock. We're launching a coffee brand. Ours is what we're making every morning for coffee, like what coffee we're making, right? So we're just continually keeping our brand alive there. And we also recommend doing regular static posts to keep the feed active as well. Now, if you can do stories, we try and do at least 4 a day, but 3 different times of the day, because that keeps your little story bar at the top active and brings you to the front. Wouldn't do 4 all at once. Do 1 in the morning, 1 in the midday, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening, and try not to schedule them. You have to do it manually. The reason we don't schedule is the algorithm doesn't like it if you've got pre-scheduled posts. They like you to go in there, upload it, and send it, right? They want you to be in platform. So looking at this, there's quite a few ways to get traffic, right? So if you're not doing any one of these, just do one extra one of these things, and that traffic number boop, will pop up just that little bit, all right? Pretty simple. So now that we've got our traffic to our site, I want you to think about this concept. This is the concept we teach. We either convert the customer or we capture the customer. Because if we think about all that hard work we've just put into getting a customer to our site, we don't want them to just hit our site and leave and us not get anything from it. So ideally we want them to buy something from us, but if we don't, we want to capture something from them. Let me show you what I mean by that. I drew this on my iPad, so please excuse my drawing. I told you it wasn't going to be a flashy presentation, it's just all about strategies. But this is your product page, okay? You got a picture of your product, you got a buy button. Ideally, we wanted to click the buy button and buy our thing. How many people do that first go? Not many, right? So if they don't buy first go, we need to make sure we're capturing information from them. We need to be capturing at least a name and email address. And this is why we have our pop-ups on our store. This is why we make sure we capture everyone's information. Now the key here though is don't ask for too much information at this point, because the more we ask for, the more we need to give. So if we're asking for name, email, date of birth, where you were born, all this sort of stuff, we're gonna have to give them something that is in return for that same amount of value, okay? If we're just asking for name and email, we only have to give them something small. So it's an exchange of value. They know how valuable their email address is. So 2 ways we can do these pop-ups. One is when someone lands on the site, we can pop up and say, hey, here, have a thing, give us your information. Or we can do when they're exiting. So an on-exit pop-up is really powerful. You can do that if you're using something like Klaviyo, that it can sense when someone's leaving your site and pop it up and say, hey, where are you going? Here's something for you. And we grab their information. The key to getting this information is not only are we going to be able to market to them with our welcome series and all our automations, but if they then go to the checkout and don't even put their email address in, we can still email them because we caught their email address early. Okay, really important strategy there. All right, so we've now got them to our store. They're looking at our product page. We've got their email information. Now we want them to buy something from us. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons that you need to put on your page to make them buy. And these are the same 5 reasons I've realized over all the stores I've worked on. If you have these, then you're going to improve your conversion rate by, I'm not going to give you a number, but a lot. 5 reasons to buy. The first one is we need to show that your product produces an outcome. A lot of people forget this, and I was looking at a store this morning. I was on a call with a client, and she sells nappy bags, beautiful product, absolutely amazing, and she's really proud of it. But when we go in there, her product page just said 17 compartments, 3 zips, doesn't leak, all the things that, all the things that the product, all the features of the product. But what it doesn't say is that it helps you with your day while you're carrying your child and keeps everything that you need quick and easy to get. Right? So it doesn't matter about all the pockets and the zips and things. It matters about what that thing does for her or does for you. So if you sell candles, it makes your house smell like a home. Okay? Don't worry about the scents and everything that's in it. What's the outcome of having that thing? When your friends walk into your house, they feel like they're in a hotel. Gives an experience of resort-style living. So it's about the outcome of what the product does for them, because people are buying something because they want something to happen. They want a transformation. That's the first thing you need to have on your product page. Don't worry about all the bells and whistles of design or anything. Show that product produces an outcome. Second one, you need to demonstrate your product, okay? You need to demonstrate that the outcome that it's going to do, the outcome it's going to give, you can actually do. So really simple, your product needs to have at least 5 product images and 1 video, okay? Because people can't touch and feel your product can they? But if they can look and see as much information as possible and feel like they've got as much information to make the right decision, that would be great. So when you think about it, they've picked it up, they've turned it around, they've gone, oh, that's great, and then they can make a decision by making that purchase. So I had one of our members say, but Brendan, I only sell black t-shirts. How am I meant to do this? Like, it's just back and front, it's a black t-shirt. Well, you can do back, front, you can do a close-up, you can look at the seam, you can have it on body, you can have the person turning around. There's so many ways that you can do a close-up of the fabric. Yeah, 5 images easily. And in a video, you can just have someone standing there turning around in a circle, right? Super simple. You should at least have 5 and 1. The third thing is, we want to remove any shipping friction. So think about when someone goes to buy something online, there's always an element of cautiousness. There's an element of, am I really going to get this thing? How much is it going to cost me? How long is it going to take to get here? If we can remove any of that friction and they give them a reason to click yes, then we do that. So some suggestions here is, if you can offer free shipping, do it. I know it's very hard in Australia for free shipping because it's expensive, but if you can build it into your margins, absolutely. If you can at least do flat rate shipping, that's the next level, so people don't have to question and calculate their shipping. If you can do a shipping threshold, that's the next level. But the worst version is calculated shipping, because people aren't sure how much they're going to pay. People are going to make a decision to click add to cart, and they need all the information on clicking add to cart. The second thing that's really important for you to do is show the speed of the shipping. How long is it going to take you to get it? You can do an estimate, obviously, depending on where they live, but we can do an estimate. It's going to take 3 to 5 days. Or if you don't know that, just tell them as soon as you're going to dispatch it. Will be dispatched same day, because that gives people confidence in the outcome of their purchase, okay? Remove any shipping friction. Fourth one, we need to reduce risk. So if you think about when you go into a shop and you go buy something, you can ask behind the counter, what's the returns policy? What happens if it doesn't fit? All those sorts of things. Online, it's a little bit harder than that. So imagine, actually, I'll tell you a story. I bought a pair of shoes a couple of weeks ago, and I did that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what they say. I'm going to measure my foot. I'm going to do all this sort of thing. And I measured it perfectly. I got it. It was still 2 sizes too big. But I was okay with it because I knew I had free returns and shipping, right? So I was fine. I'm like, okay, if it's the wrong size, no problem. I'll send it back. And it was no problem. So that made me reduce any risk of buying it. But not only that, if I did buy it, what's the guarantee? How long is it going to last? I'll tell you one little story about a member of our community. They sell this metal barbecue extension that goes on a caravan. So for those of you that go caravanning, you can put like a Weber Q barbecue on the side of your caravan and do some barbecuing. What most people do is they put on a plastic table, and you shouldn't put barbecue on plastic because it melts. So they designed this thing that sits on the side of the caravan, and they made it out of iron, and it was made in Australia. And she goes, oh, this thing's so good, it's going to last 100 years. I said, great, put it on your website. So they just had like 2-year warranty, but they changed it to a 99-year warranty, and their add to cart rate doubled just by changing that. And I want you to think about that a little bit, is if someone bought your product and it failed, you're going to send them out a new one anyway, right? So you may as well just scream that from the rooftops. Be proud of your product. It not only shows that it reduces the risk, but it shows your product is great quality if you offer a good guarantee. And then the final one is make sure you have great frequently asked questions. So on product pages, think about the top 5 questions people ask you about that product and answer them directly on the product page. Does this fit a toddler? How long does this last? How do I clean it? Think about those things that people are going to need to know to make their decision. So really the goal here is remove any reason for them to say no. Okay, give them all the answers that they need. And then finally, we want to show proof. It's all great that we tell everyone that this is exactly how our product works, and it's great and it's amazing, but we need to show proof. A couple of ways to show proof. Product reviews. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Make sure you show the good and the bad reviews. And if you have bad reviews, make sure you respond to those bad reviews. But if you've all got 5-star reviews across everything, people aren't going to believe that they're real. So I'm sure a couple of people will put in some bad reviews. Just respond to those. User-generated content. Get your customers to create content for you. If your customers can't do it, get your friends to do it yourself. People don't know it's you sometimes, and you can just create the content. People like to see it in the real world. They don't want to just see it beautifully designed and in beautiful photography at studio environments. If you get any awards, put them on there. Absolutely put them on there. No matter how big or small they are, even runner-up awards, even shortlisting. Just put them on there. It shows that you've got a real good product. And the other one is specs. Specs is a really interesting one. A lot of people don't realize that if your product, you've made decisions in the way you built your product, and you've chosen certain technology, certain materials, if you talk about that, that actually gives proof. So if you think about like what's a pair of shoes, a pair of runners, I think about sometimes you get a sole, it's called the Vibram sole. It's like this rubber sole and it's really great for running. If I see a shoe that has a Vibram sole, I instantly know it's good quality, okay? So that shows proof of that. So think about your product and some of the things that you can do. These 5 things, do these first before you even think about your website design. I'll give you an example of that. One of the ugliest websites in the world. So let me know if you recognize this website. Does anyone know what this is? Someone shout it out? Amazon, absolutely. That's the ugliest website in the world. Would you all agree? There's not design aesthetic, there's nothing. It's like terrible fonts, all this sort of stuff. So if anyone that's a designer, you look at this and go, oh, this is ugly. But I want to show you this. I want to show you something. 5 product images, 1 video. Okay? How fast are you going to get the item? Okay? This is true, by the way. I live in semi-rural Victoria, and I bought, so it was Friday night, and I was buying something, a cable or something, and I'm like, it said, will be delivered 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, no, it won't. So I'm like, it was just a gamble. I pressed it, 9 a.m. Next morning, it was on my doorstep, Saturday morning, rural area of Victoria. Reviews, 2,202 ratings. I'll always choose an item on Amazon that has more ratings, always, because of course it's better. Outcome-driven statement. 30-day refund replacement guarantee. There's no surprise why Amazon does so well, because it gives you the 5 reasons to buy on the ugliest website in the world. Is this helpful for everyone? Yeah? Got some things to take away? Awesome. All right, let's land the plane. So we've talked about getting people traffic, conversion rate. Now we want them to spend more with us. Okay? It's all well and good. We can get people to convert if we're selling something for $10, but no one can run a business at $10 an order. So I'm going to give you 2 different strategies here to get more value out of your customers. The first one is the would you like fries with that method. Okay? McDonald's have mastered this. Everyone's copied them. But every time you go into McDonald's, you go in to buy a burger, what do they say? Would you like fries with that? Why do they do that? Because they want to increase the average order value. But also, fries are really cheap. Right? The actual margin in some fries is like ridiculous, probably 100x of what the cost of that product is. So they know that as soon as they buy a burger, if they sell the fries, it's basically all margin. We do this on one of our stores. We sell boxing gloves and martial arts equipment. And when you buy boxing gloves, it's great to wrap your hands in these boxing wraps. Does anyone do boxing here? Okay. One person, there you go, great. So you should wrap your hands in boxing wraps, right? Boxing wraps to make, it's just material. It costs you like 20 cents to make, but they sell for $20. So we upsell our boxing gloves with these boxing wraps. It means that our boxing gloves we can eat a little bit of margin on, but we make all our margin in the add-on. So I want you to think a little bit about your products. Would you like fries with that product? I'll give you one other example that might be helpful. One of our members of our community, she sells terrariums, and it's a little kit, and it's a beautiful little kit. You can build your own terrariums at home. I've got one, I've kept it alive. I'm pretty happy about that. But what she said was, Brendan, I don't have anything. I don't have a would you like fries with that. It's a kit, everything comes in the kit. And I said, well, what's one thing that helps you use the product? She goes, well, when I'm building, I use tweezers. I said, well, do you sell tweezers with the kit? She goes, no. So now in every kit, she does an add-on for tweezers. It's a $20 add-on, costs her $3 for the tweezers. Now she's got $17 in margin that's just come into her order, just like that, by adding the tweezers in, because not only is it a great upsell, it makes the product better. Chips make the burger better. What is it in your world that can make your product better? You sell candles, you can have a wick cutter. You sell, shoes, you could have shoe cleaner, you could have laces. There's all these little things that make the product better. It's the first upsell. Would you like fries with that method? The final upsell, or the one that we like, is the value upgrade. Okay? So I was going to buy 1 candle, how about you get 1 for every room? Right? We'll do a deal on that for you. Or how about you get a candle and some reed diffusers? How about you buy 2 pairs of shoes and get 20% off, right? So the bundle upsell, the value upgrade. I think about when I worked with specific brands, I got men's now, and they were selling men's boxer shorts. Men always wear the same boxer shorts, right? We need 7 pairs because there's 7 days, and we don't like shopping, so we just made multi-buys. Like, buy 5 pairs of boxer shorts for this price. It's a really simple upsell because it made my life easy, and I buy 5 at once, I can choose the colors, and I'm done. I don't even think about it anymore. We implemented the same thing in our boxing store, where we knew that when people do boxing, they sweat when they box, and they wear boxing shorts, different boxing shorts, outer ones, and we knew they're going to need at least 2 pairs a week. So we put a deal together, 2 boxing shorts for a certain price, and that deal just goes off all day, every day. So have a think about what your value upgrade can be. So rather than just adding on another $20 to an order, how can you double your order? How can you actually make it better? Really simple, really straightforward. Heaps of apps for Shopify that will help you do that. And then the final piece of the puzzle, we've got the conversion, we've got as much money out of them as possible. This is the part where it all counts, okay? So they placed the order, they've given us their money. There's the concept which we call the last mile. Has anyone ever heard the term the last mile? So the last mile is when the order leaves you and gets to the customer. It's out of your hands. It's in the gods of Australia Post. It's in the courier's hands. Everyone just sort of shaked it a little bit there. The last mile is super important because this is the experience piece. This is the physical analog part to their digital experience they've had with you. First thing is, get the order out as fast as possible. Absolutely as fast as possible. If your order gets dispatched within 24 hours of placing that order, your thrill levels are through the roof. You've got this dopamine hit that you didn't even realize because you're like, whoa, I can't believe they did that. Like, that's not true. They could not have shipped that. I'll give you an example of one of the big companies in Australia. Everyone knows the Iconic, right? Does anyone sell on the Iconic here? No? If you're a marketplace seller on the Iconic, they put in rules about when you need to dispatch that order. And if you don't dispatch it within, I think it's 48 hours now, it was 24 originally, if you don't dispatch it within 24 hours, they fine you $20, right? Because they know that the fulfillment experience is just as important as the delivery experience. So you want to make sure you fulfill that order as fast as humanly possible. If you promise you're going to fulfill it next day, fulfill it the day before, or as soon as you can, okay? Fast dispatch, super important. The second thing, obviously, goes without saying, fast delivery. Amazon has leveled us all up. They've set the bar so high and it's very hard to compete, but we can do our best, all right? Fast delivery is very important. We want to get the order not out only fast, but as fast as possible. I'll use the Iconic because these guys nail this as well. They ship everything express, no questions asked. They don't even tell you you're shipping express, they just will because you get it fast, okay? Costs a little bit more money, but it pays off in the long run. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Fast delivery as fast as possible. I've even had members who, if it's in their area, they'll hand deliver it, if you can. Or they'll get one of their staff on the way home to hand. Even when I was at Petstock, we had 150 stores, it's a multi-million-dollar business. Sometimes, if the order was on the way home from the store, some people would just deliver it to the customer, so they get same-day delivery. And that's a big company still doing that, okay? So don't feel like you're too big to do something like that, and if you can fit it in, it goes a long way because it sets you apart from everyone else. The next part is you want to keep them updated. Right, this is really important. You want to make sure you let them know. They call this in-flight communication is what the couriers call it. What it means is we want to tell them every step of the way where their parcel is. They want to be confident that it's not lost, okay? Because we get lost a lot, right? We want to be confident that they can be in control of where their order is. So we want to keep them updated. The good thing is most courier services now have this, okay? One thing that you could do if you're not dispatching it or delivering it in time, keep them updated on why it hasn't been delivered if you can't get it out on time. Let's just say you can't fulfill it, it's back order, something like that. The important thing here is to let them know and keep the communication lines open. I ordered from somewhere recently. Yeah, I ordered from somewhere recently and I got an email within 3 days of dispatch and I hadn't dispatched it in time and I was getting worried, but they sent me an email saying, hey, just letting you know, we've got your order. We plan on dispatching the next 48 hours. We had some delays at our warehouse, blah, 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 blah. And that was clearly an automated email because their order didn't go out in time, but at least I felt a bit more confident that it was coming, okay? So think about that. In-flight tracking is where we give the customer the ability to track the order in their own time. So there's tools out there like Ship It, which is a shipping platform, Ship Hero, a few other ones. But what they actually do is they allow the customer to click the link and watch where the order is at any one time. Now this is a little bit more advanced, but if you put the onus back in the control of the customer, they feel like they're in control of everything. Even if the shipping doesn't change, they feel like they've got control of it, okay? They're in control of where it's at. It might increase some customer service if you're not delivering it on time, but it keeps you accountable. And the final part, and this is a really good part, is the surprise and delight. I don't know about you guys, but when I receive an order on my doorstep, it's a bit like a little Christmas day. It feels like a gift. It feels like someone's bought me something, even though I bought it myself. I'm like, oh great, I got my little parcel I get to open, it's really exciting. Now this is where we can surprise and delight. You can just get a black satchel on the ground and you rip it open and it's not folded properly. It's okay, you got the thing and you're not unhappy, but you're not going to tell anyone about it. But imagine you've got a nice little box that has a nice little note, handwritten note in there and a little gift or something in there. You're like, oh, that's sweet. it just makes you think a little bit better and be like, oh, these people sent me this, or these people sent me that. And you do see it a lot more, people putting jelly beans in orders and things like that. But you can go another level to personalize a little bit. I'll give you an example of what we did at Petstock. We were selling dog food, pretty commoditized item, pretty straightforward. But what we learned, we were able to find out the name of the pet when they placed the order. And by getting the history of that customer's orders, we were able to put a little treat in the box that said, hey, this is for Fido, and a little treat just for that dog. And we had the pet's name, we had the treat, and it was in the box and they could use it. And occasionally we would even put in a treat for the parent, the pet parent. So it'd be like, this is for the human, this is for the pet. Sometimes we put in like little lollies and write on it for humans only, because we don't want dogs to eat the lollies, things like that. And that really leveled us up. But where it really leveled us up was by putting handwritten notes in there. And you can do this on scale. No matter how many orders you're doing, you can still do this on scale. And we found alone, by putting in handwritten notes, our NPS score almost doubled. So if anyone knows NPS score, it's a net promoter score. It's where people, there's a metric that's taken to find out how many people will talk positively about your business, okay? Just by putting handwritten notes in there, net promoter score doubled, okay? So it's worth the squeeze. The way we did that en masse was we just put a pile of notes in the staff room, and we just said on your staff break, just write handwritten notes. Hey, thank you for your order. Thank you for your order from James, right? And they just got put in the back, the boxes. It was a game changer for our NPS score. All right. The final way to scale is we want to get them to do it all over again. So we've got them the order, they've been excited, they love it, everyone's happy, get them to do it all over again. This is what we call our retention. We can pay for our customer to come in once, but it's a lot cheaper to get a customer to buy from us again. This is the way we scale our business. 3 ways we're going to retain our customer. The first one is we need to reward their loyalty, okay? So a couple of ways that you can set up loyalty rewarding. Spend and earn. Who shops at Country Road here? Anyone? Does anyone know about the Country Road rewards program? Yeah? Basically, the more you spend, the more vouchers they give you. And it's like, oh, I've got a voucher, I'm going to spend it. So that's a really simple way. You can do that in Klaviyo by if someone has a certain spend threshold, send them out a discount code. Reward them for their loyalty. Super easy. Second one is anniversary emails, the happy birthday emails. We all get them, but you know what? They work. That's why we get them. There's nothing nicer than getting getting 20 emails on your birthday that says, here's your coupon code, but it just reminds you that you're part of their world and they've given you something, and you're like, oh, actually, you know what? I will treat myself on my birthday. Anniversary could also be when you first shop with us, could be your pet's birthday, could be your child's birthday, could be your wedding, could be whatever. Get that anniversary. We've got one member of our community, they sell wedding planners, and when they buy the wedding planner, there's an upcoming date, which is when the wedding is, so they capture that date. And they create loyalty from when they bought the wedding planner to try and then get them to buy invitations and all the other things that go around with weddings because they know that anniversary date. So think about your products. What's an anniversary date that you can leverage that isn't just birthday? VIP programs are really powerful for the right type of business. If you're selling 1 or 2 products, VIP programs are really hard to do. But if you've got a suite of products where people can keep to come back, they're really good where you can earn points. But VIP programs shouldn't just be about discounting and spend and earns. They should be about other benefits. Like if you think about Qantas, if you get frequent flyer points, it gives you discount on flights, but gives you access to the lounge, gives you access to partners. So it's a proper loyalty program. So think about that. And then loyalty points is where you spend and spend and spend, and then you can use those points elsewhere. So that's the way we reward loyalty. The second way is building community, and this is a real push that we've seen in e-commerce over the last 12 to 18 months, is building communities. Who here is in a community of a brand? What I mean by that, a Facebook group of a brand that you talk to and you hear from. Yeah, a couple of you, right? It's more common now than ever. Brands are building communities so they can talk to their customers, and a couple of good things happen here. Is one, you have this direct relationship of owning your customer, but you get direct feedback from your customer. I'll give you one example of a lady in our community. She sells dresses, and they're handmade dresses, and they're beautiful, and she tries different prints, but she didn't know which print to do. So she uploaded it to a group. She had about maybe only 1,500 people in the group, and she said, which print do you like the best? She put up the 3 prints. They chose, everyone was unanimously this one print. She went to market with it, right? The other 2 she didn't worry about. So otherwise, in the old world, we would have went to market with 3 prints. 1 would have sold, the other 2 would have sat on the shelves and we had to clear later. So groups are great for that. The key though is making sure you engage with the followers as well. So we want to make sure that if someone posts something, don't just let it sit idle. Engage with them. Be human, be the founder, be the voice of the brand. So build groups, and then create events is another one that's really important. This is something we did at 2 Times You quite a lot, whereas we created run clubs, we created meetups for other communities, we created events, and that was a great way to have a conversation with your customers. Market stalls are great. Like I know we can have big brands, but market stalls are still a great way to connect with the community. Puts you real, puts someone behind it. And the final one to get people to come back? It's actually quite simple. Just be awesome. Just be great. Have a great product. Take on feedback, right? If you get negative feedback about your product, take the feedback on, review it, and improve your product. Someone has gone out of their way to give you feedback. Take it on board, right? Take it on board. Great products. Thank your customers. That thank you email is a great way to build retention. Just by sending an email personally from the CEO. We actually do a second email, which is a thanks again email. So if someone buys from us a second time, they get a completely different email. Hey Joseph, the warehouse just told me you bought from us again. Can't believe that. We must be doing something right. Thanks so much, Brendan. Super simple, builds that human relationship. Exceed expectations, surprise and delight, ship things quicker than they expect, get them to land on the door quicker than they expect, and be that experience, right? So have multiple touch points with your customer, and then finally surprise and delight. That's how we get our customers back in. So I'll just do a little recap, take a photo of this, because this is all of it that I talked about in one page. That way I don't need to, I could have just put this up here and sat on the stage and asked questions, but that's all the things you need to do. But I don't want you to do them all at once. Think about where you are in your journey right now. Think about those 3 levers we talked about. Do you think you need more traffic? Great, work on the attract space. Is your conversion rate a little bit shitty? Work on the convert space. Do you think you can get more money out of the person that comes to the door? Work on the average order value. If everything's going along nicely, let's put some fuel in this fire and scale it up. All right, I think we've got a couple of minutes for Q&A. If you do want the presentation, I think you can grab it from the QR code there. So feel free to grab it. It has all the notes if you didn't get a chance to randomly scribble. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm not sure.
Are there any questions? What would you consider a good price? What do you consider a good provision?
It's a great question. That's almost like saying how long's a piece of string, because what's your average order value?
It varies. We're quite seasonal.
Yeah, okay.
Like we're about, this one down here. Sorry. 5.36.
Okay, that 5.36 is your conversion rate. And how much are people typically spending with you?
Seasonal.
Yeah.
So October, November, December,
Yep.
like about $200.
Great, okay, cool.
Other times it's coming like $79.
Yep.
You know, there's quite a lot of fluctuation.
So there's a relationship between your average order value and your conversion rate, right? If you have a high conversion rate, a high average order value, you typically have a low conversion rate. Typically we see that, because if I'm selling a $29.95 product, it's easier for me to say yes. If I'm buying a $300 product, it's not as easy for me to say yes, because it's more of a decision. So what we typically see is high average order values see lower conversion rates, right? But that just means you need to do a better job of giving them the 5 reasons to buy. Right, so it's much easier for me to just put a product that's $29.95 up with a couple of dot points, because people are like, oh, I'll take the risk on that, I don't mind. But if it's a higher average order value, it's typically lower. 5% is good for a $200 average order value, absolutely. Yeah. So lower, the higher. Hopefully that helps. Yep.
Question about SEO and category pages. One thing if you're scrolling on mobile and you're on a category page, that text creates the extra scroll. Does it still carry the same text at the bottom of the page?
Yes, yep, so you can definitely put it at the bottom, but there's probably 2 strategies we recommend here. One is throw it to the bottom, it's fine. Or if you want, because you want to have 2 purposes of that text. Yes, SEO is one of the purposes, but the second one is also to sell your product a little bit, sell your collection and why you're different. So we like to have, we put ours at the top of the page in some cases, but we do a read more, right? So read more then expands it out. So the first paragraph or the first sentence will be like, this is why our product is awesome and you should buy it. And then the read more is like the SEO version of it. So you can hide it that way for mobile. Yep.
Thank you so much for your talk today. It was really good. Question, I guess, around AI and chatbots and how to keep, I guess, that human element that you talked about, that relationship, how you balance the two.
Yeah, that's a great question. AI is evolving really fast. Using AI, it depends what you're using it for, but if you're using it to create copy, the more information you give it, the better, right? So the more you get it to learn more about you, the better. When I think about AI, I think about it just as hiring someone in your team. Okay, if you hire someone in your team and say, please write me an article, they're gonna be like, what about? And then you need to teach me. You need to tell me what I want. So the more information that you give to the bots, the better it's gonna be. So we talk about creating, like engineering your prompts, and over time, and our prompts get better and better and better and better over time because we're continually filling it up. So if you're using ChatGPT, and you're using the one chat, so create that as your one mega chat for the topic that you want. So we've got a marketing bot which we use to create our email content, to create our ad content, and it gets better and better over time. So we'll give it feedback. So it'll give us a article, and we'll be like, oh, actually no, this, you need to do this, and it just learns over time, so it gets better and better. Treat it like you're onboarding a new staff member, and you need to tell, and they're just straight out of university, they know nothing about your business, and they know how to write, but they don't know anything. You want to teach them that, so just treat it like that. Is that helpful? Yeah.
Thank you
No
very
worries.
much, Brendan. That was excellent.
You're more than welcome.
I always learn something at these presentations. It's incredible. QR code there. If you like what Brendan had to say, let us know that. And
Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.